Hello, good morning, everybody. Sound Savvy Statesy here. Just checking in and just pressed record because I think I got something cooking that I would like to talk about. I came back from my vacation 2 days ago, and I feel very refreshed. And the first night I was home, I slept soundly. Uh, so yeah, I guess I guess the one thing that well um well I got something else I got something I certainly want to talk about, but one of the things about, especially from this kind of vacation, it was from we came home from a spa, and as nice and lovely and peaceful and relaxing it is, that somehow each time I come home from it, that in a way, it's like there's no reason that I can always have my environment at least partially that way. So knowing that sometimes just doing the simplest things can help ease anxiety or not make you feel rushed. And sometimes but anyways, so guess we'll just do a little spa talk here, and then I'll go on to something else. But so yeah, I mean, the meaning, at least for me, going away on vacation is to relax, do fun things, and it does ease me. And so anyways, that was just my point about that. So I just woke up, and I've sort of been awake for maybe 20 minutes or so before needing to actually get up. But um what I'd like to talk about is the concept of texts. Um, when receiving texts from somebody, and depending on the subject or matter, what exactly, sometimes, what are the actual emotions behind texts or so? What are the actual meanings or so? Um, it isn't so much of the meaning. It isn't so much of what is said. It's like, how exactly were they how exactly were they perceiving, um and the reason I bring this up is because these days I become more aware. I used to well, yeah, I guess normally for me, I would straight on just like ask, what do they mean by that? um and sometimes I'll react in a way where it might baffle them. And uh, sometimes the best thing to do is to ask them in person, what do they mean by that text or so? When you can tell that if you're having an argument with someone, you just don't want to talk to them, then it's like you could tell. I mean, depending like on the words. However, then, in other conversations in the text that you can't tell, what's the emotion like behind it. And I think the reason that it gets so important to me sometimes, and I don't know if it completely, it necessarily means because of me being on the spectrum, autism spectrum. I have known to get like, tone sensitive. These days though, what I'm starting to practice, and, especially it's that challenge, what does this mean, or kind of thing, or or what did they mean, like challenging the confusion or frustration that you have over something, or just whatever you're uncertain about, and then you know question it, and then change. And then the change part is that, here, this is what I could say instead, or this is what I could ask instead. I also recently read something on Google about this doctor from Harvard about um, you know gaslighters that um, will say this or that, and then this is how they teach you how to respond, like, or so, or this is, or they give examples of like how to respond, like, or so. This isn't about gaslighting. No, that's just an example of I can use that I can use that technique or method to question about like certain texts, or ask that person what they meant by that text or anything. Because in the past, I've sometimes I've gotten quite upset when I didn't understand a certain text, and if it sounded like the person was mad at me, or um I wouldn't like say anything right away. I would say like, "Oh, okay. I understand," or "Okay, uh I'll be sure to do that for now on instead," or something. But then suddenly my mind would just go elsewhere and just say, write to them saying, something. It sounded like, I don't know, it sounded like I was being like not attacked but snapped at or something. And apparently that wasn't always the case or so. And they would think, gosh, what is wrong with Stacy? Like, well, but then as time went on, you kept texting, or you kept, you know, talking to the person, and then, frankly, they sort of started to understand me. And then, which sometimes it makes you even closer. Um, and of course, when it comes to a work thing, when I'm um, taking care of somebody's pet, um, and if they notice something the next day that maybe there was just a little impact from, I don't know, the platform that you had them played on, or, run about on, or even walk, um, they'll just they'll let me know about it. And I'm glad they'd let me know about it. And it's like, okay, I won't, for now on, I won't, do that. I'll do this instead, kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm still just sitting here contemplating on what else like to say, because right now, I just, uh, I just got this feeling like I'm just a little stuck right now, and I'm feeling a little like, as though not an ache, but just like I just feel like I'm being swarmed, like, with, and it's not me trying to keep myself here, or just be baffled, and just be stuck with a certain feeling, just like, I feel like a negative emotion was brought on me, somehow by somebody, and it wasn't, it was just a note of certain of sorts, that, just a reminder, or just like, from now on, best, not to do this, um, kind of thing. But it isn't me trying to keep me here. It's the obsessive compulsion that is like keeping me here. So, but that's why I'm on here, to discuss it. And anyways, I'm gonna move eventually, and I have to have some breakfast. And So yeah, the bit of the advice I would, give myself, and my partner, my boyfriend, one of the things he always assures me that, this is just a text, it doesn't mean anything. And if you're concerned, I can, so the advice I'd give myself, and probably, advice I've heard from him too, you can always ask that person you were texting, or who was texting you, what did they mean like by that? Sometimes I know I can already tell what someone means, what they meant, but you kind of exactly, but somehow you didn't like somehow the attitude or behavior that you were getting from them or something. In this case, there was no negative tone or attitude. There wasn't, because I could tell more now these days. It's just a note of what to do for now um, on a particular project, or particular um, on a particular project, or a particular gig. And so yeah, I think I just have to share and vent that that I did a blog too on generalization and personalizations, and the difference, and that, yeah, I'm able to tell the difference, right? But these days I can't help, but take things, personally. Um what I just can't help it. But at least, I'm more aware now, and I'm discussing it. And also, I think that's just not just being on the spectrum, but yeah, it has to do with that. It has to do with being right brained, being an artist, and being well, also sensitive, like a pet, or like an animal, or sorts. Is, warm blooded, right? At least that, right? But so yeah, texts are just words. And, under the circumstance that, if I get what the person means, due to a social standing or a job, um, it's all due to it. It just now has to be a certain change in routine, due to the safety of people and a pet, and that. So, anyways, I guess that's all I have for now, and I will see you again soon.